Good morning, grandkids. Are we ready for the next chapter in Lonely Worlds? I'm anxious. Remember that they've left the fiery world, and that voice that talked to them said they was going to have to go through fire and ice, and then he would meet them in hell. So let's see where the call has taken them this time. I awoke coughing and spluttering, my face plunged into rushing water. Strong hands are holding me there. I struggle, but I can't break free of their grip. I strain my neck muscles, trying desperately to pull my head up, but I can't quite move far enough. I can't breathe. I'm drowning. Air. Oh, the same strong arms pull me up, and suddenly I'm staring into an angular, bearded face which beams at me. Morning, it cries. It drops me unceremoniously, and I tumble in a coughing, gagging heap onto the soft grass of a riverbank. The moment I have air in my lungs again, I spring back to my feet, my knife in my hands, and lunge at my foe. He's on horseback, or so it seems, at first. But even as I swing my knife, I realize that the horse part is actually his lower body, merging into a human torso where the animal's neck should be. It's the perfect description of a creature from legend I've only ever seen in Harry Potter. The centaur is quicker than me, twisting the knife out of my hand with a burly arm before I can plunge it into his stomach. With his other fist, he clubs me hard around the temple. Pain explodes through my skull, and as I fall to the ground, he pins me down with a single stony hoof. Just calm down for a second, psycho, he growls. I struggle. I'm not giving up this easily. Not after everything we've endured. But he presses harder, crushing the air from my lungs. I said calm down. Out of options, I lie still, staring up at the impossible creature. Though he's holding me down, he doesn't really seem aggressive. Okay, I'll calm down when you let me up, I retort, unwilling to back down so easily. But the sound comes out choked and weak. He holds my gaze for a few moments and slowly removes his hoof. Warily, I get to my feet. Why were you trying to drown me? I demand, trying to reestablish my composure. I wasn't drowning you, the centaur replies gruffly, folding his arms. I was waking you up. Nothing else was working. I nod slowly, still not completely convinced. What have you done with Haley? There's a snort of laughter from a bush off to the left. We both turn to look at it, and Haley emerges. You two are hilarious, she giggles. We glare at her. Oh, come on, she continues, walking over to us. You should listen to yourselves. She takes the centaur's arm. Felix, this is Ian, she says, putting his hand in mine and forcing us to shake. Ian, this is Felix. Now, stop posturing and let's have a civilized conversation. Evidently, it seems from this first dialogue and description that they have not gone to the ice world. So I guess that voice wasn't listing things consecutively. Maybe there's other places they have to go before they get to the ice world. I guess we'll find out, right? We both back down, but continued to eye each other distrustfully. "How long was I out?" I ask. "A couple of days," Ian replies, wiping his hoof along the grass. "At least since I found you two. This one woke up the next morning," he says, ruffling Haley's hair. "But you took some more persuading." "He's like us," Haley adds, "but not from our world, or the fire world either," I asked. "I'm a Stalroth boy," Ian says proudly. "You should see it one day. Most beautiful sunsets in Mythisia. I'm sorry, Joseph, I don't know how to pronounce that. Mythicia. Haley and I look at each other and shrug. Alien centaurs? Why not? I say with a grin, and the tension between Ian and me is dispelled. Haley and Ian have set up camp on the riverbank. Ian's got a tent of his own, a large leather affair. Quite how he sleeps in it with 4 legs is beyond me, but I don't ask. It's a pleasant world that we've landed on, with a warm climate, a wild grouse for the hunting. I'm sitting by the campfire with Haley later. Ian's out collecting firewood. It's not an awkward silence so much as a contented one. Far better than where they had been, right, guys? After a while, Haley moves over to me. I never got the chance to say thanks. "For what?" I reply. "For saving me. I know you carried me when the smoke got me on the fire world. I'd be dead without you." "Well, I guess that makes us even then," I say with a smile. "Still," she says, and suddenly kisses me on the cheek. "Thank you." And then she disappears back to her tent. Things might get a little romantic. I'm still blushing for quite a while later, and the stars seem brighter that evening. Ian comes back with a bundle of sticks under one arm and drops them by the fire. "Back home, people like you are just legends," I tell him. "My people say the same of you," he replies, smiling through his beard. Can you imagine some world seeing us for the first time would think we're strange and something of mythical legends to them? He has an odd way of talking, at times formal, almost archaic, but then he lapses into more modern expressions as though he can't quite settle on one culture or another. "But then, I guess," he says, "we're both revising our idea of normal." He bends his knees into a half squat. I realize this is his equivalent of sitting. I can't even hardly imagine what that would look like, can you? I wonder if it's strange, essentially spending your entire life on horseback. But then I realize it's all he's ever known, so we must be the strange ones. "You speak my tongue," Ian says suddenly. "How can that be when you're from another world?" "I don't know," I sigh. "There's so much about all of this that I don't understand. I'm kind of hoping the voice will clear some of it up, if we ever find it." "Haley told me much of your story while you slept," Ian said. "I heard the same voice myself, in a cave on a world made of glass." "Cool. What do you think it is?" I ask him. Ian chuckles. "I haven't the foggiest. But it's a direction to ride in, isn't it?" I sleep well that night and dream good dreams of home, apart from once when I wake at an unearthly hour of the morning, the voice from the... That doesn't read right to me. I sleep well that night and dream good dreams of home, apart from once. When I wake in an unearthly hour of the morning, the voice from the cave ringing in my ears, beyond the burning world. Screwing up his reading today. Through the realm of ice, to the gates of hell itself. The fire world was grueling, to say the least. Even with our years of travel, it was the toughest obstacle either of us had overcome. In all the time since we left home. Ice will be the next. Well, see, I thought this one was the next, but it wasn't the ice world. So you can't be sure that it will be the ice world. Ice will be next, and I have no idea how we'll deal with that. And as for the gates of hell, I guess we'll just have to take each trial as it comes. As the three of us sleep on that peaceful world, far away, across the multiverse, a shadow falls on a field of snow. From the shadow, voices can be heard, chittering, screeching, screaming. Out of it, something emerges, something old and evil and so unfathomably hungry. It looks to the cold, unfeeling sky and howls. Darkness lies ahead of us and behind us. Our circle of firelight dwindles. The darkness is creeping in. And that's the end of that chapter, guys. I bet they're getting ready to travel again. So, we shall see next time whether it's to the ice world or something before that. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. I hope you're enjoying this tale. I'm loving it. Bye-bye, grandkids.